Hawaii Congresswoman and Democratic presidential candidate Tulsi Gabbard says she's seriously considering boycotting the next debate on October 15th.
She made the announcement on Twitter this morning saying the 2020 Democratic primary is rigged.
In this 2020 election, the DNC and the corporate media are rigging the election again, but this time it's against the American people in the early voting states of Iowa, New Hampshire, South Carolina, and Nevada. They're attempting to replace the roles of voters in the early states using polling and other arbitrary methods, which are not transparent or democratic. And they're holding so-called debates, which really are not debates at all, but rather commercialized reality television meant to entertain rather than to inform or enlighten.
To help us explain what this could mean for her campaign, we brought in KHON2 political analyst Dr. John Hart from Hawaii Pacific University. He's standing by with Howard Dashefsky.
All right, Lauren, thank you very much. So you heard, first of all, nice to see you, sir.
Nice to see you.
Always a pleasure. Tulsi Gabbard saying it's not a debate, it's more of a circus. Well, the part of the problem is there's 12 people on a stage. The front runners are going to get more questions than those who are only polling at 2, 3, 4%. Therefore, could this whole thing be a way to get more airtime than the debate itself?
Well, debates are important at this point insofar as there's a perception that if you're not in them, you're not one of the contending candidates.
Right.
So they do want to get in them. And she spent a lot of money in Iowa to get to that 2% to get in. But now that you're in there and you're one among 12, how much airtime you're going to get? Are you better off boycotting and getting the media attention, which she claims she's not getting?
Right.
Or go to the debate, or do you walk a middle route where you say, I'm thinking about boycotting, get that attention, and then do the debate anyways?
Okay, well, let's give this a little bit of perspective. There are many who claims that the DNC hijacked Bernie Sanders, and it really kind of played the cards to line everything up to get Hillary Clinton that nomination. So that's kind of the backstory, and that's what she's saying. And any legs to what she's saying about some of those early voting states, using non-proven methods to really select a contender or a leader.
Well, the kernel of truth is there were certainly problems with the DNC last time around.
Right.
However, her allegations about the DNC this time around are very vague, just as her accusations of not getting any media coverage seem to belie the fact that she's getting a lot of media coverage, saying she's not getting any.
Makes a lot of sense. 12 people on a debate stage, even if it's 2 hours, it stands to reason that the top 3, 4, 5 candidates are going to get the main course. And Tulsi, along with some of the others, Amy Klobuchar, I mean, gosh, you can go down the line. Everybody else who's polling at 2, 3, 4%, they're going to kind of get the leftovers.
She's right that it's not a debate. But the reason it isn't a debate is that there's 10 to 12 people there. That's too many to have a debate. If you just went with the people that were in double figures, it would be 3 or 4 people. That's probably the debate we need to start seeing.
So for her to say that the big mean corporate media machine, all of us, whether it's CNN or Fox or local affiliates like us that are owned by a mainland entity, or whether it's the party, this strictly comes down to polling.
Well, it's a tried and true method by both Democrats and Republicans to blame the media. It's the one thing they seem to agree on. But a lot of this isn't set up by the media. It is set up by the DNC. After all, the media just covers what people want to hear, hence Family Feud.
Exactly. I think you and I would do really good on that show, by the way.
I think so too, but only if we rub Steve Harvey's head.
Yeah, no kidding. Final question, will she, won't she, next week? The debate is Tuesday. Will she show up? Will she take part?
My guess would be no, but I'm not willing to bet the farm on it.
Okay, well, either way, she's generating the headlines.
Exactly.
The question is, will she get an opportunity to use those headlines to then use it to really put out what her message is, should she be on the stage?
It's about exposure. Her campaign will make a calculated decision on whether or not she will get more exposure boycotting or more exposure doing both.
And nothing happens by accident at this level?
Absolutely not.
All right. Dr. Hart, thank you very much. Always look forward to chatting with you. Ladies, back to you.